jetzt in 2 Sekunden nach.
Hey guys, and welcome to the new AMA of savedroid. My name is Yasin, and I'm happy to give you an update on what happened since last time. It's now roughly 3 weeks after our last AMA happened, and we have some very good news for today. I think many of you already were aware that we are launching our crypto beta. So that is happening actually as we speak in the second. The first invites are going out to the first crypto users. The team has been working over the last weeks really intense. We could really see the motivation. It was long hours in the evenings, on the weekends, of course. But it was a major thing for us to deliver this first milestone, as we promised also in our white paper, to have the beta version live still before the end of Q2, and that's what we achieved by delivering now the beta version. So it's Friday, June 29th. We are in line with our roadmap also, what I think is also important to mention. And the good thing is we have spent now a total development time for this one in order to launch the product of only 3 months. So I believe that this is really a great achievement. So all my thanks to the team who have spent significant effort in order to achieve this important milestone. So that is really something we've been very excited about, and now it's going to be great to have the first users finally on board. Feel free, by the way, to provide us feedback to the app, of course, right? As I said earlier in the other ARMA sessions, the beta is about getting really user feedback then basically incorporating that into the product, and then together with the community, together with the beta users, improving the product. And that's what we are all committed to. So that's the big one for today. You can also read more details about the beta on the Medium post, which we just launched today. I think Toby, our community manager, will also post it just below here in the stream, so that you can also click to Medium and learn more about the beta. And of course, I will also share with you some details to that. So how is the beta working? So it's starting right now. It's an invitation-only beta. That means that basically from the group of ICO participants, which are the only ones who at this point in time can use the app, we will invite now the very first ones, right? So the first invites have now been sent out. If you have received one, then congratulations, you're one of the happy who have the unique opportunity to be one of the very first in order to experience the savedroid crypto savings app. So what you should do, it's a very simplistic process, also mentioned in your email. You just click the button and install the app. Then basically you sign up with your email address, which you also use during the ICO to register your savedroid account on ico.savedroid.com, and then you complete the onboarding and you're all set and can start crypto saving with savedroid. So welcome to the revolution. It's good to have the first ones already live and running. So this means that basically the crypto savings app, which you're betaing now, is available, and that's now important. It's outside of Germany, right? So the German users need to be a bit more patient. The app is now going to launch in the international stores. So it's basically for the international audience. We have consciously taken this decision as more than 2/3 of the total ICO community is from outside of Germany. Therefore, we wanted to deliver the product first to the majority of the community. That was the reason why we went for that move. So please do understand, if you are a German savedroid user at this point in time, there will be no crypto functionality yet. But on the other hand side, then you need to wait a bit, and the beta is now available internationally in English language. That's also important. The only language we're currently supporting is English. And then one more thing, as I already said, it's only available for ICO participants. So if you have bought some SVD tokens, and last but not least, it's Android, which we are launching today. So you can get it from Google Play, and the iOS version will then follow in the next month. So that's basically about the setup of the beta, which has been launched today. And now you can check, hopefully, your mailbox and see if you are one of the lucky ones who have received your personal invite already. So I'm kindly asking you to not be disappointed if you should not have received your invite at this point in time. So of course, we are just getting started, and we will invite more and more users to join the beta over the next weeks. And here it's very simple, right? So if you have participated in our ICO, then you will automatically receive your personal invite over the next weeks, right? So there's basically a logic which will decide in which bucket you are, and then you're gonna receive every once in a while inviting new users, and then you check your email box, and once you get your personal invite, it's your time, you're ready to go, and you can then join the savedroid community and start saving in crypto using our application. So that's how it works for all the ICO participants. On the other hand side, if you have joined the savedroid community only after the ICO and you're still interested, of course, hopefully in using our product, then we kindly ask you to sign up now at savedroid.com. So not the ICO webpage, which is ico.savedroid.com, but you just go to savedroid.com. And on savedroid.com, you can sign up. And you just leave your email address there. And then we will also basically send you an invite once we have basically invited all the ICO participants first. So there is basically a queue. The ICO participants are first, as promised also in the white paper. They have the exclusive privilege in order to be the first ones to use our service and also to provide feedback, which will be incorporated in the improvement of the app. And once this backlog is basically done and everyone is invited and joins the savedroid crypto savings app, then we'll send the invites to the people who are now interested in signing up. So it's better to request your invite to sign up at savedroid.com right now, because the queue will of course extend itself, and if you already sign up now, you will have better chances, of course, to be invited in an earlier way, in an earlier manner. So therefore, if you have not already participated in the ICO, please sign up on savedroid.com. So that's about it, how the beta works for you as users. The first ones can start today. The other ones will then receive the invites over the next weeks. Again, it's outside of Germany, it's in English language, and it's available on Android for the beta as of now. And then all the other versions for iOS, and then later on also the application for Germany will be available over the next month, and then in Germany towards directionally autumn and Christmas. That's basically the timeline over there. Now, one other update, which is also important in terms of the beta, we have achieved to set up a subsidiary company, which is called savedroid App GmbH. This one is located in Liechtenstein. Here, many blockchain startups actually now having their offices there. It's also in the same building as the relevant lawyers who are working in this field of crypto in Liechtenstein, and therefore we have also decided, in order to have our company have their offices there at the House of Blockchain. As I said, the original initiative of this, you can easily see it if you Google it, was been incorporated by Eternity, which I think are quite well known in the whole crypto community. So it's a good place to be, and also a good place for exchange and making new connections into the crypto world. So this is another good sign. Why did we do that? Of course, we did do that in order to have a very clean and a very viable option in how to set up the regulatory framework for our crypto savings application. And as you know, Liechtenstein offers very favorable regulation. Therefore, we're actually using that. Liechtenstein is now positioning itself not only as the Swiss is doing as Crypto Valley in Zug, but Liechtenstein is actually calling it even the crypto country. So therefore, I think this can be a great opportunity. We want to be part of this one, and therefore we now incorporated our subsidiary company in Liechtenstein. And you will also see that if you go to savedroid.com, and if you scroll down to the footer, then you can see there the address also of the Liechtenstein entity. And again, it's in the House of Blockchain, cool location. Pretty much looking forward to get also business started over there. And the headquarter of the savedroid AG, of course, remains in Frankfurt. And by the way, we have, this is one other update, we've also switched our offices now. We've just now next door. As you see, I can at least slightly twist it a bit, that you maybe get a slight impression of the new office. You can see our barbecue place over there. We just had some sausages for lunch earlier. Um, and of course, our TV14 presentations. Unfortunately, we also watched there the loss of Germany against South Korea. So finally, a bit recovering emotionally from this one. So it's good to compensate this negative news with the positive ones on the product development side, that the app is live, that the Liechtenstein entity is up and running. And there is even one more thing, which I think most of you have already seen on the social media channels. We have partnered with another ICO also located here in Frankfurt. It's called Coin Analyst. And the Coin Analyst ICO is actually a very interesting one. So what the guys are doing is they have built a technology which is already there now and has developed for more than 7 years, which is analyzing in a very structured, intelligent way news. And what they are now doing is basically they are taking into account all relevant crypto news on ICOs, on coins, whatever you can have. And the algorithm will then do a semantic analysis and pick out, using the AI, relevant information, disregard scams, disregard fake news, and thereby then create trading signals. So I think it's a very helpful tool. The guys have just started their ICO, and we decided to partner with those guys because we as savedroid, as you know, we want to make cryptocurrencies available for the masses, so cryptocurrencies for everyone. Their mission is understanding cryptocurrencies, and I think that goes hand in hand, because only if the people understand cryptocurrencies, then a mass market adoption in the sense of having cryptocurrencies for everyone will be a viable option. Therefore, what we do want to do is, in order to combine our services in the future and also offer their news for our users, and these guys are going to offer in their news app a savedroid service to their users. So the whole idea is to extend our ecosystems, to basically plug in helpful news into savedroid and to plug in the helpful savings tool to the news app, so that you can have best of both worlds, and thereby, of course, not only enhancing our ecosystems, but also driving user growth. And I think that, again, is then something where both ecosystems will profit, because, as you know, the more users, the higher the demand for the token. And the higher the demand for the token, the better the opportunity for a favorable price development. So I think this is actually for us a very straightforward move. There have been some critical voices also in the community. I would just ask all the people who are currently skeptical about this partnership to check out their website, read their white paper, participate in their AMAs. We do know the guys now for many, many years. Pascal, who is the CEO of this one, I know him now for way more than 5 years. The Frankfurt community is rather small. So I think that is a very good trust base on which one can work together, and which we can also understand that there are synergies between the product. And as you know, we are not just doing wild partnerings like others where we just announce like 10 different partnerships which don't make any sense at all, but we have really selected and screened the market, and we came to the conclusion that this product really fits very well to ours, and this has been the reason for actually doing this partnership and also communicating the partnership. So I do hope that you guys can also see the reason behind and the value behind, and the value behind you will also be able to experience in the future inside our app, because it will help us to make our product even better using their intelligence on news analyses and basically getting out fake and scam news, which is very valuable as I think. So this is basically the update on the crypto app side. So beta is there, first users on as we speak. We have the whole thing available again outside of Germany in English language for Android. Other versions will follow soon. Then we have set up our legal entity in Liechtenstein, House of Blockchain, in order to have a stable regulatory setup for our whole crypto operations, and the Coin Analyst ICO partnership in order to enhance the ecosystem and drive user growth. So that's basically what happened since last time on the business side, on the product side. I think this is some great progress, and you can really see that the team is working hard in order to push fast forward. And I think that is what really came into place now over the last weeks. Now, of course, let's come to the update about the token. You have seen, of course, in the communities that a lot of discussion is going on, a lot of questions being there. What is now against the background of the current difficult environment of the crypto markets the best listing strategy? We have Still, if you look to Telegram, if you look to Twitter, people who are pushing and saying, look, you should really list the token as soon as possible. Now, over the last 1.5 to 2 weeks, it slightly changed. We see also the first people who at least publicly are tweeting and are posting that at this point in time, it would not be a very wise decision in order to list the token now, given that for the last 2 months, if you look to the beginning of May, where Bitcoin was around 9,000 US, and now we are even below 6,000. So a significant cut in value over the last 8 weeks. Here the question is really, is right now a perfect timing given the bad market conditions, and when will it change? And we also see this discussion going on in our community. And therefore also I think what's important on this one is, and I want to really give you the full insight, right? The answer is not only looking to one channel like the Telegram discussion and then coming to a conclusion, because as you guys know, we have different channels. So Bitcoin Talk, we have Twitter, we have Telegram, and of course we do have our bigger ticket token buyers from the private sale, syndicates, whales, etc., whom we are in a one-on-one contact with. And of course we are also interacting with these guys and discussing, given the current environment, what's the best strategy in order to list the token now. And if we bring all that together, we can really see that now over the last 2 to 3 weeks, there is more and more also the argument in the market that given now the persistent downturn of the crypto prices, at this point in time, it would make sense to wait a bit longer. What I don't want to say that we have taken this decision. As you know, and we announced that last time in the last AMA, we're going to go for listing once the beta is live. Now the beta is live today, as you know, so the original plan would have been now to list the token as we communicated last time in our last AMA. Now the only question is, and that's what we are currently reconsidering, we are going to having many discussions with the bigger ticket buyers, but also inside our communities to really understand what are the preferences and to see what move would now satisfy these preferences best. And I think here the situation is we don't at this point in time want to wait any longer. We told you the reason for basically launching the beta first and then starting the token trading was that there is the strong argument in the market that especially pre-product tokens have been significantly hit by the downturn of the crypto prices. So I think now it's very visible. We have a product out there. The product is visible. It's already in the Play Store, so everybody can see it. Everybody knows that there is a live product. And now, of course, we can list the token. And now the only question is, shall we do that now? Because this argument, we can now say, checkbox ticked, everything is good. We no pre-product token anymore. Now the question is the market timing a good one? On this one, I just very genuinely and honestly want to share my opinion. I think market timing is one of the most challenging things in crypto, even more, but also if you look to the classical financial industry, classical stock markets, right? I mean, investors trying to time the market, it's one of the hardest things you can do, and most people fail with that. So the only thing I want to openly disclose here is basically saying this discussion I think is very important to have it also with the community to get all the feedback. But in one point in time now we need to take a decision and then stick to it. And that's exactly what we want to do. Before we do that now finally, we do want to hear the community again. Therefore, please contribute. Please let us know what your current preferences are given the challenging environment of the crypto prices these days. And I think for us, the basic decision will be start the listing and now very soon, or wait until the price is stabilized a bit. And I think that's the discussion we should have now in the community, and then together with the community come to a final conclusion and then just execute it. Now, given that the beta is live, there is no other restriction anymore for which we should take care, except for the market timing. So that's not an easy one to take, but we are all up for it, and we want to discuss that also with the community. Then the second part, because this question of course remains open, what's the status with the top 5? Here again, discussions ongoing, unfortunately moving slow, as I already told you guys last time. So it's not finally committed yet what is the final time on which we can list. So this is still up for discussion. We need to see when the exchange will decide, and once we have a decision, then basically we can also let you guys know, and of course it's going to be the first thing what we will do. But as I said already last time, on the 5th of June, I think it was, when we had the last AMA, we are here really dependent on their decision, and currently this is going very slow, unfortunately. For all the rest, we are in discussion with further exchanges, with two also now in advanced talks. The core issue which remains here is very high pricing still. We see that the first exchanges now are slightly reducing the prices since the beginning of our talks. Still, the prices are way too high at this point in time. Economically, it does not make too much sense. So therefore, we are sticking to our very clear position here. We are open for more exchanges, but not for crazy prices. So the prices for the listing must make economic sense. Otherwise, we'll just reject. There's no point in getting more listings just for the sake of having more listings and paying like crazy prices for that, investing the money which we have collected in our ICO. I think that would not be in the best interest of the community of the savedroid token holders. So therefore, that's not what we are in for. And that's basically the summary. So again, let me just quickly wrap up for the token. So evaluating the current market situation, discussing with the community, top 5 still in discussions depending on their final timing decision, and in talks with other exchanges, but still very high pricing. We need to see when the prices go down, and then we can have some more feasible solutions there in order to get more exchanges and where the token will be listed. So that's so far for the update, what has happened over the last 3 weeks. And pretty much, as I say, we are most excited about the beta, which is now already live. This has been really the first big milestone. If you look to the roadmap on our website, you can easily see that this was the big thing we have been working towards with the whole team over the last 3 months, working night shifts, working weekends, and it's now finally there. This really makes me also proud of the whole team who has put in full dedication, full motivation in order to make that happen. So thanks again to the full team. And now we're looking to get your feedback, guys. So please feel free, once you get your personal invite, to test the app and provide us your feedback. Only with feedback we can get better. So this is very important for us. And that's basically the first part of the AMA. And as you know, we'll now continue with your questions. So I will just switch my screen over and we'll basically see what questions we have here. And as always, Toby is gonna send me the questions over, which you guys post. By the way, for the first timers here, if you do have questions, please just post the questions below the live stream here as a comment on Facebook, and then we will pick up every question one by one. We're not going to filter questions. We're not going to skip negative feedback. This is an open discussion. Everybody can raise any question, and I'm happy to answer. So therefore, please use this opportunity, participate now, and just let us know your questions here below. So let me see which questions we have. So the first one, and I think on this one I already commented, was from or was here when exchange listing, when exchange. Maybe just to wrap this up, because I do understand that this is one of the most relevant questions for the whole community. As I said, we need to evaluate now the current environment of the crypto market. I've just been yesterday on a crypto conference in Hamburg, also discussing with other startups in the field, in the area, crypto traders also. The guys, we are very careful at this point in time about the market. Nobody wanted to show too much commitment. Also discussing with these guys what their opinion is in terms of a listing decision. Do list a token right now, wait a bit. I think that's currently a critical question because many market participants feel a bit unsecure about the current situation. Many basically waiting for a movement up again. On the other hand side, it's now more or less persistently going down since 8 weeks. So it's really a challenge, right? And then the only point I want to again stress is it's not an easy decision at this point in time. People seem to be mostly undecided, it's again an open discussion which we need to have. So what I'm kindly asking you for as a community is please do share your opinion. Please do engage in a discussion on Telegram, for example, but of course also on other channels if you wish. Let us know your opinion, and then we can take this also into account, and we will also of course talk to our big ticket investors in order to understand what their current take of the market, and then we will come to an informed decision about what's a better timing or a good timing in order to list the token. I hope that this answers the first question. So then from Daryl, we have the question here. So if ever the market stabilizes, do you still need to wait for the 5th exchange in order to get listed? That's a good one. Thanks, Daryl, for this question. No, so basically, I would say no. I think the key concern, right, which we had, and this was conveyed to us from the community, from the bigger investors, was basically that we should not list until the product is live. As I said, this we have done now. Yeah, tick box checked, so everything is good. Now, of course, if this top 5 exchange continues to be very slow and we cannot agree on a definite point in time now in the next days or weeks, then it does not make sense to just wait and wait and wait. I mean, fully agree. That would not make any sense, right? Then the other alternative is to just go with the other 4 exchanges, see if from the other 2 exchanges, which we are currently in talks with, where we're in advanced talks, one option may materialize, which we can then have as a 5th exchange. But for sure, Daryl, we're not going to wait until you don't know when, just for the sake of waiting to getting this last exchange on board. If this is just taking longer and longer and longer again, we can then just add this exchange later. But this shall not be an excuse in order to wait now even longer for the listing. As I said, for us now, we also do want to list the token rather sooner than later. The only question which we are currently concerned about, and we see that also the community is concerned about, is really the challenging price development of cryptocurrencies, right? And I mean, you guys, I guess, follow the market quite closely. Whoever looks to coinmarketcap.com and you look to the chart of Bitcoin, who looks to the chart of Ethereum, this really does not look good for the last 8 weeks. So that's the only thing which is of concern as of this point in time right now, right? So there shall not be any further reasoning why it would make sense to wait for another exchange or why to postpone it. I think the only question is now really what is our feeling about the market situation? Does it make sense to do it now, or do we fear if we do it now, then this could actually harm the price of the token? I think that's the only discussion which really makes sense and which we should also openly have in the community. So therefore, again, please provide your feedback. Then Philax is asking, what if the crypto market continues to be bear for the rest of 2018? Are you going to keep waiting? So hopefully, so first of all, no, as I said, we're not waiting until whatsoever. This for sure will not happen. On the other hand side, I mean, where shall the market go? I mean, if we continue basically the development of the last 2 months now until end of this year, I mean, you can do the math where the prices would then be. I don't think that this is a realistic assumption at this point in time, given that we have now lost basically from 9,000 to 6,000 US, 3,000 US in only 2 months. So the question is, how much further can it go down? I think it doesn't necessarily need to be, if you ask me, but again, here up for discussion, I don't think it doesn't necessarily need to be a situation where the market is like skyrocketing, what we saw in the past. I think these days may be over, and also phases like this, because this has been also a bit of an exaggeration in the market. But at least I think we should come hopefully to an environment where the market is a bit more stable, right? At this point in time, the chart really looks like this. It's going down, down, down. I think if we can at least come to a market situation where it moves sideways, this could be already stabilizing the whole situation quite a lot. So thanks for the question. Short answer to that. No, will not wait. Just a long point in time. And secondly, honestly, I also don't believe that this situation, as it went over the last 2 months, can now continue for such a long time, because prices have come down already significantly. If you continue like that, I think there's not much left of the whole market. And on the other hand side, I think that typically what you see in markets after a strong reaction, this should actually be followed by at least some kind of recovery. And I think that hopefully we can use this recovery phase in order to then list the token. That would be, I think, one of the best outcomes which could be there. Then Lee Parker is asking, do you regret the "and it's gone" PR stunt? So okay, happy to take this topic up again. We had it already quite extensively, also in the last 2 AMA sessions, but I'm always happy to discuss this topic. I think on this one we have a very clear take now, right? We reflected, of course, very self-critically about ourselves, and on the one hand side, and we stated this now for many times already, we do need to apologize for what we have caused on an emotional level to the whole community of token buyers of the savedroid token. We do know that this has caused some very intense 24 hours for the people who were in fear that the money would have been gone. And this, of course, was not the right action to take. This was not the right way to go. And we do understand that in this regards, the action that we took was wrong. There's no question about it. Full stop. Right? Then, and that's the other part to it, we want to continue to emphasize our motivation behind and the core message which we wanted to bring across, which is legitimate. And this is a very different thing. So we have seen 24/7 for more than 4 months while we ran our ICO. The market is full of scam. It's like a Wild West. Everybody tries to rip off everyone else. If we continue like that, the market will break down for sure. This kind of market behavior is not sustainable. Will never be. In no eventuality, in no world, a market like this can be sustainable. If you have so much scam in the market, this harms trust. If you kill the trust in the market, then you basically kill the market. And I think this is what needs to be made very clear. And that's what we are now stepping in for, where we are spreading the word, where we are now looking for other crypto market participants who share the same opinion, who want to partner. We don't want to build up any competition to any organization now lobbying just for the sake of lobbying for savedroid. That's not the point. What we want to do is actually we want to find allies who share the same vision that we need to make the market more sustainable by establishing higher quality standards, by getting rid of scam, and then together pushing this vision into the market and helping the market to become more sustainable. And that's what we are all in for. We're working on this one, right? So visiting conferences, talking to people, pushing the message, talking to journalists, getting out the word, creating awareness in the first place. And after creating awareness, then it's really about taking action and coming up with proposals in order to improve the situation. And that's what we are all in for. So again, in short, the action itself was wrong. We are sorry for that. We do apologize for the difficult time which we caused for our community. On the other hand side, we do push forward to convey the message that the market as it currently works is not sustainable, and we urgently need to change that if we want to make it sustainable. And that's basically, in a nutshell, again, the comment to the action which we took on April 18th. I hope, Parker, that this answers your question. Then Andreas is asking, it's not about releasing something. It has to be something of value. We don't know if it is because you did not even say what the functionality is. Okay, good. No, Andreas, happy to tell you about the functionality of our application. So, if you know the savedroid approach in general, how it works is you basically define a savings goal which you want to achieve, right? May it be the next summer vacation, may it be a piece of furniture. This is typically how our German Euro savings app work. You have a savings goal which you want to afford, but you just currently don't have sufficient funds. So therefore, you then use savedroid, you set up your savings goal, say the next vacation with my girlfriend to Asia, and then you basically set your savings rules. And the savings rules are called smooths. It's a if this, then that rule. For example, if I achieve my daily step goal as measured by the step counter on my smartphone. And then you define these smooths. You have many different categories. Can also be if you visit the gym, if your favorite soccer team wins, if Donald Trump tweets, if you pay with your card, let's do a roundup, things like that. So many different smooths on which you can save. And then you program the savedroid bot according to your lifestyle preferences. And that's it, right? You just lean back and you let savedroid do the savings work for you. So essentially then what savedroid will do is it will monitor if your savings rules, your smooths are triggered. And if so, it's going to save the money from your current account, which you have connected to the application, to a separate savings account, which is managed by our partner bank, which is Wirecard. And that is how the current savings app works in Germany. I'm just explaining that because we also have German participants who are now participating in the English-speaking streaming. So therefore, to get also the differences clear between the German app and the crypto app. Now for the crypto app, it's basically that you connect your credit card in the first place. So from whichever bank you own a credit card, you connect that to the savedroid application. That's step number one in order to load savedroid, right? Then again, you set up your savings goal. And we have some crypto-specific savings goal, which is, of course, when Lambo, when Moon. So you can save for your personal Moon if you like that. Your creativity is basically the limit here. You can set up whatever goal you like. Then secondly, you choose your savings rules, so the smooths, as I already mentioned. And again, here we do have some nice crypto-specific ones. So for example, if Vitalik Buterin tweets, then something can be saved. Or if John McAfee tweets, then something can be saved. So again, this is custom made now to the crypto world, that there is a direct linkage. The savings goal you're aspiring to achieve, then the smooths, you connect those. And once you have set that up, the app will work automatically for you. Again, it will monitor if a smooth has been triggered. If so, the money will be deducted from your credit card, which is connected with the application. We will then take the money, we will auto-convert it into crypto. And here you have the option in the beta to select 3 different things. The first one is you want to save 100% in Bitcoin. The second one is you want to save 100% in Ethereum. And the third one is basically you want to save in a portfolio of Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is basically for the start being a mix 50-50. Yeah? And that's it. So it's very simplistic, which is the value proposition for it, right? To make it very easily understandable, very easily usable. So you just download the app, you set up your goal, you set up your smooths, you connect your credit card. That's it. It's done within a minute. And then you start crypto saving, right? And I would say that this is some real big value, as if you would compare to setting up an account at a crypto exchange, setting up a wallet, handling your private key. So you skip all these 3 things, which you would need to do in order to save in crypto at another provider. So this all moves to the background. You just install the app. You just go through the onboarding. It's very fast. It's extremely convenient. It's smart because there's an algorithm behind that will then follow as a next step from the beta. So the portfolio, which we start 50-50, will then have also an algorithm who will switch the different parts of the portfolio as it makes most sense given the market price development. And you will also, and that's going to be the next feature which we add to the crypto, which will follow soon, it's basically a prepaid credit card. So this one is not there yet, but this will come then very soon. A prepaid credit card that you can then also basically spend your crypto, which is stored by savedroid for you in any online shop of your choice. So you have the full experience from fiat to crypto again back to fiat without again creating a trading account at an exchange, without setting up a wallet, and without needing to worry about your private key. And that's the value savedroid delivers. It's extremely simple, yet smart given the algorithm. It's safe because there is no private key which you can lose. And it's barrier free in the sense that you can start with really tiny amounts. You can start as small as with the roundup, right? So just a few euro cents. And just these few euro cents which you will save will be auto converted for you into crypto. So imagine today you would want to buy Bitcoin in the value of 50 euro cent. It's close to impossible. But with savedroid you can do it. And that's exactly the value the crypto beta offers. And I think that is quite a lot for a beta, for an MVP. And we now, of course, will work consistently on a weekly basis, on a daily basis to reveal new features, to extend the beta. We're just getting started, but this is already what can be done by this first product version. And I think that's already quite a lot. I hope that the community, that the users appreciate it. Nevertheless, as I told you, please do provide critical feedback because we need that in order to improve the product. That's now very important during the beta phase in order to really have a controversial discussion which features are good, which features are not so good, which features should be added. And this is what needs to then be aggregated in the product development over the next month before we launch the app publicly. And that will be key in order to have a very good product. So, Andreas, I hope that this gives you some good insights how the crypto beta works, what is the value behind. And please also, if you are not, which I cannot see from the name, if you should not be located in Germany, then of course you will also have the opportunity to use it rather sooner than later, and then also you are cordially invited in order to provide your feedback. So thanks, Andreas, for the question also. Then Mike is asking here which crypto I can save with the new app. I already just answered that now because I was a bit extensive in my answer for the last question. So in the beta, you're going to start Bitcoin, Ethereum, or a mix of the two. That's basically for the start. And then we'll add more coins over the next month. And then you can actually select single coins, or you can always select the portfolio. However your risk preference is, however your coin preference is. So you're starting with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then extending that now over the next month. That's basically how it works, Mike. Then Andreas is again asking here, if you will not wait, what will be the latest date when you will release no matter what? I think this is, I guess, now meant for the token listing. But on the other hand side, it says release, which would be the software, but I guess it's for the token. If not, Andreas, please comment. For the token, we have not yet defined a very latest date. So this question, honestly, I cannot answer you at this point in time, right? Therefore, we are now starting the discussion, getting feedback from all the investors. I will also spend my weekend in order to discuss with bigger ticket investors what is their feedback, call them up, having emails with them. I'm trying to understand how the situation is. And here I would want to basically get the insights first and then come up with a proposal and with the decision, and not the other way around. I think if we now circumvent that by basically having the answer already and then talking to people, there's actually no point in talking to people anymore. I think because then the decision is already taken, right? And I just want to make it very clear that this is not the case, right? So therefore, I think that's now really open. As I said, we personally now, as the product is live, would want to get the token listed as soon as possible, at least in a stable market environment. But please do let me understand also the perspectives from more community members, also from bigger ticket investors. And then once I'm able to have talked to a representative group of those, then I will be able also to get an aggregated view of the sentiment in the community, and then come up with a very clear proposal what we can and will do. So therefore, Andrea, sorry for that, but I cannot yet provide a definite answer on this one. I just want to be very open with that. Then we have from Daryl again a question here. Thank you for the answer. Yeah, thank you for the question. And what is the process in collecting feedback regarding the listing exchange? Would there be another voting for this? How long is the time frame for collecting these feedback? No, at this point in time, Daryl, we are not planning a community voting on this one. But actually, how we're doing it is we are, of course, through our community managers closely monitoring all the channels, right? And you can easily see if you're on Telegram, if you are on Twitter, that most of the content which is basically there is around this exchange listing topic. So I think this is basically where we can see the sentiment in these channels. Bitcoin Talk very similarly, Coin Forum in Germany, for example, also. So this is then really closely monitoring these channels, interacting with the community in these channels. It's rather an open discussion here. And with the bigger ticket investors, how I typically do it is I'm dropping them an email, writing them a text, agreeing on a phone call, which we can do, picking up the phone, having a quick conversation, just openly asking for their opinion, and then basically aggregating it, right? And at this point, for this decision, we don't want to make it a quantitative voting by the community, but it's rather a qualitative assessment of the sentiment of the community. So there is no formalized voting process behind. It's really talking to people, listening, then also filtering, because also I think that's an important point. One must not confuse feedback, what we are getting, for example, on Twitter, with feedback we are getting with big ticket investors, for example, because typically you have and that we learned over the last months, you have a very strict, a very big bias also on these channels, right? On Twitter, on Telegram, typically you have mostly really small ticket investors. You have also many bounty hunters who, of course, are pushing for a fast listing. But if you then are really looking behind the scenes, you see that you have many people who hold tokens for maybe €1, which was the Telegram bounty, or who have invested like some 40, 50 euro, which of course is a valuable investment. I don't want to be negative about this, please don't get me wrong. But if you put that in context to the total size of the ICO, it can just not be the case that basically this small minority at the end has the say about listing a token, which at the end, in terms of money, affects many other people who have spent significantly more on buying token of savedroid than these guys, but at the same time are just not shouting as loud as these guys, right? So our general approach to this one is we are not listening to the ones shouting out the loudest, because I think that would be completely wrong. We are looking to arguments, right? So does an argument make sense, or does an argument not make any sense? And if you just see that people are shouting, list now, I want to sell, this I think is not a valid argument, right? And then also at least not if we consider that given their upfront investment and given their total exposure to the project, which I would then say, if I compare that to someone having invested a few thousand euros on the other hand side, who is not shouting that he is pushing so much to the exchange listing, why should we do it then if, say, 50 people who have maybe on average invested some 50 euros do that, then we would follow just the loud ones in the community. But I think that this is not the right approach, right? So I just wanted to also give you a bit the background behind the process. I'm always very open, as you see, in order to illustrate also a bit. I think for us the last month have been very insightful, because we see that on different channels we get very different feedback, but we have also very different participants in different channels. And this is also one thing which needs to be taken into account, that one needs to be very aware who is currently writing what is the intention behind, and what's the motivation in order to do a post like that, right? And I think there, if you really look behind the scenes, the world looks a bit different than just when you read, say, 5 tweets who are shouting out loud, let's list the coin as soon as possible. So this is of course, also what we're taking into account. I think we have a very rational approach to this one. We want to look to arguments, we want to hear the voices of the community. We just don't want to blindly take some action which may at the end harm the community rather than help it. And that's the point to it. So I hope that, Daryl, this goes to your point of the process. Then Omar is asking here, Mr. Yassin, when will the next exchange announced? Isn't it supposed to be after beta release? Yeah, I think, Omar, this is what we are discussing here already. So the plan, as you correctly say, was that after the beta is now live, we are having a real product in the market. We are now all set in order to get the token listed. The listing, as I said, we need now to see what's the best timing, given that the crypto prices went down for 2 months in a row now, and we have lost significant value in the whole market, and people are getting a bit nervous. So this we need to assess, and we need to come to an informed decision. If your question is about the top 5 exchange, then I already said that on this one the process is still going very slow, but be assured we will not wait just until eternity. If we don't move forward on this one, then we would just take the decision to move forward with the other exchanges, and then we would add this top 5 exchange at a later point in time, because from now on it doesn't make sense to wait so much longer. We are rather now looking really for a more stable market situation, and then I think we are all ready and set to go, and therefore we are now having this proactive discussion with the community. So therefore, Omar, thanks a lot for your question. Ryan is asking, Yasin, would there be an investment option linked to cryptocurrencies, like feature in a traditional stock exchange? Will the app be able to show your current investment value and performance? Ryan, not so sure what you mean with the first part of the question, honestly. Maybe you can specify a bit. So if it's about trading, if I'm getting this right, so the savedroid app is from or by design not meant to be a trading app, right? Here it's really about a savings plan. So the whole vision of the product, the whole positioning of the product is that we are saying we want to help people who are new in the crypto market to have an easy way of adoption. And one part of this easy way of adoption is that we are not asking people in order to invest a big lump sum in any coin or token in the first place and then do trading, but we are basically very carefully helping these people in order to adopt to cryptocurrencies, in order to enable that they can start saving with very tiny amounts, as small as a roundup, and then basically be consistent doing that for many days, many weeks, many months in a row. So save some 50 cents today, save €1.20 tomorrow, maybe the next day nothing, then the next day again €2.50, something like this, right? So it's about small amounts, but it's about being persistent. So that also helps to mitigate the volatility which we have in the market, because then you have from the stock market's known cost averaging effect, as in any savings plan you would have with an ETF portfolio. So that already helps here. And that's the whole vision behind. So not so sure if this addresses the first part of your question, Ryan. If not, please do clarify again, and then I will pick it up again. And the other question, yes, for sure, of course, in the app, you will be able to see the performance of your crypto savings, right? So in the app, we will, for simplicity reason, always report the value of your crypto also in fiat, right? Because the most users, of course, are still thinking in fiat currency. So that would mean if you're using the app, then of course you hold Bitcoin, you hold Ethereum, but we will then also show you the performance in euro, right? And then you can easily see how much have I saved up, how much is the current value of this crypto, and what's the delta. So did I make a gain, did I make a loss, what's my performance? And this will be very transparently visible in the app, so that you can easily understand if the crypto moved up, if the crypto moved down, if you now own more money that you actually saved or less. So this, of course, needs to be very transparent, because all the users not only want to know that, but they even need to know that, given for tax reasons, right? Because at the end, we do need to provide, and that's what we will do, of course, every user with all the information of every single cryptocurrency purchase and sale, so that there's all the information which you would require in order to correctly declare your taxes. So that's, of course, a feature the app has implemented that goes without saying. This is also what we need to deliver. So I think it would be very challenging if the app would not have this feature. So I hope, Ryan, that this basically answered your questions well. And then it's Christian here is asking, how does the savings work? It just buy the crypto and hold. B, the crypto bought will be managed by savedroid in order to work the position by selling and buying the original saved amount. Okay, I think I know what you mean. So basically, let me reframe that, and if this is now not correct, please correct me in the comments here. So your question is basically, if I now save up and I would say decide for the portfolio, right? I go for the initial portfolio where there is 50% Bitcoin, 50% Ethereum. What will happen in the future as the prices move up and down, right? So say I buy 50% Bitcoin, 50% Ethereum today, and then 1 week later, Bitcoin has gone up, Ethereum has gone down. So of course, then it's not 50-50 anymore. Will there be some adjustment in order to fix that proportion? And secondly, if the market outlook, if I get you right, changes, say there would now be a more prosperous market outlook for Ethereum than for Bitcoin, would you actually switch from Bitcoin into Ethereum in order to have a better performance for the savings? That's how I understand the question. And in the beta, this is not yet implemented. This is one of the features we are looking for, and which we will implement next. This is definitely on our roadmap. So in the beta, it's really, if you select the portfolio, we are starting with 50-50 Bitcoin, Ethereum. That means for every purchase, the purchase amount is going to be split 50-50 in the two amounts. That's how we start today. Of course, now the next step will be that this is going to be adjusted. I'm basically saying now, if the amount and the value of the already saved Bitcoin has moved up, and if the amount of Ethereum has moved down, then for the next purchase, you just purchase a bit more Ethereum, so that eventually you can get as close to the 50-50 split again with the next purchase, the next savings transaction which you have, right? But this would be already the next step. The beta in the first place now as an MVP, minimal viable product, does not yet offer this feature, but this is one thing to come. And then the other thing you're asking for, actually an optimization of the portfolio. This is then the next step, once we implement an algorithm behind, right? As I said, now it's 50-50, it's static, but the next step would be that an algorithm would decide based on the market development and the expected market development in order to adjust this to, say, 30% Bitcoin, 70% Ethereum, or the other way around. And this adjustment then would be dynamic. So the algorithm would basically assess the market, would come to a conclusion on how the new mix should look like, and would then auto-adjust the new purchases of the new savings transaction. So yes, this is all planned, not yet implemented in the beta, definitely features which will come over the next month, but not yet in place. So I hope, Christian, that I got your question right. Then Tracy is asking, how are they choosing beta tester randomly? Yes, exactly, Tracy. So how it works basically is that it's basically a two-step process. The first one is we need to exclude all the German users. As I said, the beta is now available in English language only outside of Germany. So the German users are being excluded in the first place because the app does not work in Germany. And then for all the rest outside of Germany, it's a random process. We just randomly pick from the whole database of the ICO always a number of users which are then up next, right? And that's how it currently works. We're gonna getting started with this so that every other day, every few days, we can invite new users. And the reason for doing that is that, of course, we need to make sure that the system runs stable, that we can cope with the user feedback which we are getting, and that the users have a smooth experience in the product. So that's basically the reasons why we do limit it only to a small number of invites. And therefore we have this randomized process for all users outside of Germany, where we then randomly draw a set of users which will be then the next to receive the invite. And then basically this goes until all ICO participants have been invited, right? And thereafter then the new signups will follow. That's basically the logic behind this process. So thanks a lot for Tracy. I think this question has also been interesting for other people who are interested in how the beta runs in more detail. Let me see, do we have any further questions at this point in time? Because I see that this was currently the last one. Guys, if you should have more questions, please feel free. As I see currently, it seems that there are no questions left. If so, please post them now, that I can still answer them in this session. Otherwise, as you know, we do AMA sessions every 2 to 4 weeks, right? So just to be precise, it's not every 2 weeks, but every 2 to 4 weeks. So that means it can be that the next AMA session is in 2 weeks from now, but it may also be that the next AMA session is only in 4 weeks from now. We're always then deciding that spontaneously on how the news flow is, so that we can also provide you with a real news update. Therefore, we're not fixing the time frame, but it's always every 2 to 4 weeks. So just that you know, the next opportunity is going to come soon. But if you still have questions today, you should shoot them now, so that we can take them up. Let me see. No, I think Toby is giving me the sign. I think we are done for today. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for the great questions. Appreciated spending the time with you, informing you about the crypto beta, which has finally started today. We are so excited now seeing the user feedback. This will be rewarding, the reward of the hard work which the whole team had over the last month. And we've been working on this for the last 3 months, really days and nights, weekends. So the team has given its very best. I'm really proud for the whole commitment which we saw, for people being that eager in order to make that happen. So thanks a lot from this part also to the full savedroid team for making this happen. Highly appreciated. And let's keep up the spirit to now bring the beta to more users, to add cool features. And I'm asking you guys from the community to kindly provide feedback, right? This is the only way how we can improve. So please do write us. Please do let us know your feedback on the crypto beta. Do test it. Send us positive feedback. The team will be happy. Send us negative feedback. The team will be even more motivated to make the app even bigger and better. So therefore, please don't be small in the words which you let us know in order to get your feedback in the app. That's the only way how we can build a really cool product and make the savedroid vision happen, which is bringing cryptos to the masses. So with these words, let me close the one. You can see that we have delivered our first milestone, and now for all the rest, the token listing is just a matter of the market timing. We do hope that the crypto market gets a bit stable sooner than later. We will do the discussion with the community. If you did not share your feedback yet, please take the opportunity. You can do it on Telegram, you can do it on bitcointalk.org, you can do it on Twitter. You can also write emails if you wish. However you share your feedback, it will be good. We will then do the sentiment and come up with a good proposal when we can list the token. As I said, now that we are not pre-product anymore, the beta is out, I think the token can be listed once the market is stable. And then we have also resolved this one, and everybody can hopefully be happy. We are already looking forward to this pretty much. And now I hope in your city where you are staying, the weather is also as nice as here in Frankfurt. We have, I would say it's close to 30 degrees. So it's a great Friday evening for you guys. Hopefully enjoy the night, and I think thanks to the team for making the beta happen today. We will also later on, after the Deutsche AMA session, die jetzt gleich folgt, we will also have one beer with the team to say a small thank you to deliver the beta. That's all for today. Please spread the word about the beta, spread the word about savedroid, make our community bigger. Thanks so much for your enduring support of the community. This is really great, highly appreciated, and I see you guys soon in the next AMA within 2 to 4 weeks, so please stay tuned. Thanks a lot, guys.